following program was recorded at the ARC Annual Industry Forum in Orlando, Florida. I'm pleased to welcome Editor-in-Chief of Supply Chain Brain, Russell Goodman.
Joining me for a conversation today on product lifecycle management is Dick Slansky, Senior Analyst at ARC Advisory Group. Welcome, Dick.
Russell, glad to be here.
Dick, in product lifecycle management, tell us about the relationship between today's PLM solution sets and the supply chain requirements of companies.
Well, first of all, today's PLM solution sets are very wide in scope. They start with concept, go through design, manufacturing processes, all the way through support, and all of those domains, if you will, are connected in some manner to the supply chain. In other words, the company that is going through the product development process can be connected to their partners, to their outsourced partners, to their suppliers in some manner. So there is an essential connection between the process of the product development and as it goes through these domains, through the design build process, to the supply chain, in everything that the supply chain entails, the materials, the outsourcing, whatever that may be.
Well, let's delve into that a little bit more. How do these solutions and applications meet the supply chain requirements of a company?
Right. What basically the essential part of PLM is that it is a product development process. So that means that you start with the concept, you go through the engineering design, you go through the manufacturing process. Now, if components of that, or domains, as you go through that process, have to be outsourced, or you have to obtain assemblies, parts, supplies, and so forth, at each part of that, at each juncture in that process, there's probably some connection to a company's supply chain. They're going to have to involve themselves with getting material. They're going to have to involve themselves with their partners and their outsourcing suppliers and so forth to obtain the components and the assemblies and the parts and everything, the materials, everything that goes along with this entire product lifecycle process. So there's an essential link between supply chain and all domains or all phases of the product lifecycle.
Now, earlier when you and I were speaking, I took some notes. You said it was very important that the product development lifecycle processes are integrated with supply chain requirements. Now, why do you say that? What's the importance of that?
Well, it starts at the very beginning when you go through the engineering process, go through the engineering design process. This goes back to the days before they even had CAD and CAM and everything like that in 3D and digital modeling capabilities. Even back to the days when they were designing their parts, designing the product, on a drafting board and so on and so forth. You still had basic engineering requirements. You still had basic version control, change management, things like that. What you are doing at that point is you're developing the materials, the specifications, the parts, the sub-assemblies, everything that goes into this product. It is even at that beginning part of the process that you're starting to connect and integrate with the supply chain. The first thing an engineer does when he sits down to design a part, he does a make or buy decision. Do I make it in-house, or do I buy it someplace? Do I obtain it? Do I outsource it? Whatever. So there's an essential link with the supply chain at the very, very beginning of the product development process.
Now, you also said that collaborative product data management systems enable a company's suppliers and partners to synchronize and integrate the product development lifecycle. Now, why is that? How does that happen?
Today's one essential component of today's PLM is the PDM, the Product Development Lifecycle Platform. And what we're finding today is that this is really expanded in scope also. Essentially what PDM was a part of the engineering process, as what I mentioned earlier, is that you had to be able to manage the changes and the versions and so forth of the parts as from the engineering perspective, and that's what early PDM did. Today, now, that is expanded out to include all the domains of the product lifecycle. It's a sole source, if you will, or a single source of the truth for all the data and all the information for product, for process, for production systems, manufacturing processes, and so on. It is all contained in one single source. And in today's environment, the PDM is a very collaborative, highly collaborative platform where information can be shared across not only just in engineering organizations or manufacturing organizations within the company, but can be shared across all of their partners, their suppliers, and all of the stakeholders in that product development process. So this PDM platform, if you will, is a very highly collaborative platform that enables this degree of the sharing of information, the collaborative process within the product development and so on.